Yeah. Oh.
Ready?
Yeah.
We ready?
Ready? We're ready.
All right. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out for share time. Carolyn, bipolar manic depressive with complex compound PTSD. Oh shit, I really thought I was in a different group for a minute there.
Hell no, baby.
Yeah, I kind of did think I was in the right place.
Here we go.
Don't worry, I don't use the stage to work out my shit. That's what I have a therapist for.
Good.
Yeah, I'm just up here trying to find my voice.
Get it, girl.
But now that I think about it, isn't that what the fuck therapy is actually for?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we are up here working out our shit. I do actually really utilize my therapy. I make the most out of it. Not just to work through my trauma, but also to learn how to be open for self-growth or self-discovery. Kind of like acceptance, if you will. Like for right now, the lesson she's trying to get me to learn is not only to reward myself for the positive things I say and do, but to reward myself for the things I don't say and do throughout the day. Just in case you're confused, allow me to give you an example. I like to call these confessions from Carolyn. I actually watched these teenagers walk up and grab the gnome off my front porch and just start to walk away. I mean, like the little assholes didn't even give me the respect to fucking run. They just started to walk away. And at some point, the kind of PTSD kicked in, and I was like, well, here we go. Not today, motherfucker. So I decided it was a good idea for me to go out and retrieve my gnome back. So as I step outside and proceed to yell, "Give me my fucking gnome back, bitch!" Then they decide to run. So now I'm committed. So I'm chasing these fuckers about 6 blocks. Truth be told, I slowed down about 4 because I wanted to catch my breath. So I snuck up behind them and just screamed, "Give me my fucking gnome back, bitch!" And since I'm short, they obviously didn't hear me coming. They jumped about 2 feet in the fucking air. And then I proceeded to go off on them like I was 14 years old back on the streets of West Palm Beach. I was using vulgarity I had forgotten about. I actually think I made up a couple of new words when I called his girlfriend a cum-guzzling, double-cunted gutter slut. There were 2 parents who actually walked out, not to intervene, just to fucking watch. And at this point, I decided, you know what? When he rolled his eyes at me and told me he didn't take my gnome, I was like, no. No, they need guidance and discipline in their life, and I'm here to fucking do it. I have nothing better to do. I'll fucking go to jail today. So I launched at these kids with a purpose. Not just to kick their ass, I was gonna be inspiring. And each time I hit him, I was gonna be like, fucking stay in school, get a job, find a fucking hobby. But right about the time I launched, screaming, "You don't know me, but you're fucking about to," Dusty grabs me by the waist and begins to hold me kicking and screaming in the air. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna calm down long enough for him to put my feet on the ground. He doesn't know short girls that well. So I did some deep breaths as my therapist has taught me to find my space. I calmed down. He put my feet on the ground, at which point I screamed, "I'm gonna fucking eat your soul!" and launched again. This time when he grabbed me. He just started walking the other direction, and the kid started hauling ass again. Long story short, I got my fucking gnome back. Woo! I know. And when I was telling my therapist this story, she's like, well, let's look at the highlight points. One, you can acknowledge that your decision to chase after these teenagers was not really a good one. That shows growth. Enjoy that cupcake. You acknowledged what you did was wrong, and nobody got hurt. Enjoy your fucking cupcake. So that's what I want you to try to do, is to apply that in your life. Now I know in your situation it's probably not going to be so extreme when you're chasing your gnome down, but next time you're at work and you're like, that coworker you really just want to fucking smack really hard the moment she walks in, when you get home and you realize you successfully once again did not hit a bitch, congratulate yourself. Take a fucking bubble bath.
Didn't even have to use my AK.
I know, see? Do a day, congratulate yourself. Take your wins. Could you imagine being raised by me? I mean, I know I've had a lot of therapy and everything, and as my son got older, I asked him, was I really that bad? He's like, actually, no, Mom, you were medicated a lot, because I was medicated. He said, but what you did was help me build character. I'm not sure how to digest that, but I was a very involved parent. You know, I wasn't like a helicopter parent, or I wasn't like a butt plug parent. Speaking of butt plugs, have you seen the ones that light up at night?
Yeah.
I think they would be amazing for night walking and night jogging. I mean, it's like a taillight if you think about it. Everybody will know where you are. It doesn't have to be sexual, unless you want it to be. I'm not going to yuck your yum. Safety first. But I was extremely involved. I did Cub Scouts. I was a den leader in the whole 9 yards. Until some of the moms found out I used to be a stripper. And then all of a sudden, I was immoral and shouldn't be near little boys. I was like, I was a stripper, not a priest. Calm the fuck down.
I've seen that one, Kelly.
Yeah, unfortunately, the little boys didn't. You set that up, I'm sorry.
Put that right yourself, brother.
My son didn't know that I was a dancer when he was growing up. I didn't do anything on that stage I was ashamed of. There's no reason not to tell him. I want him to grow up respecting women in every fucking job they do. So that being said, I raised him a little different. And I had a theory, if it's funny, genuinely funny, and not disrespectful, you won't get in trouble. Me being an involved parent who always likes to hover around and check in on what the boys are doing, I come into the room one day and they're all surrounded by the computer dying with hysteria. So I'm like, well, what is this? So I asked them, boys, what's going on? Show me. So I was like, Mom, you gotta come watch this. 2 girls, 1 cup.
Oh.
If you haven't seen it, don't. Please don't. Just know that if I wouldn't have seen that donkey show in Tijuana, those boys would have been in a lot more trouble. As he got older and grew up, our relationship changed, and instead of getting phone calls about complaining about his roommates, I started getting drunk phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning from my son, which are actually kind of funny and entertaining. They started off with how amazing I am and how awesome I am and what a great job I did and appreciated me. And then he went to Vegas, and the phone calls evolved into a, Mom, we're in Vegas. Where was it you worked at out here? I was like, well, the Can room. Why? He's like, nothing, we just want to go see where I was made. And he hung up the phone. He called me back a couple of days later. Was like, Mom, you are the most amazing, smartest woman in the world. And I was like, yes, I know. I'm glad you caught up, but what was your enlightenment moment? He said, when we were in the club, we told the girls, my mom used to be a dancer on that stage. And then she got pregnant with me and quit. We were surrounded by women all night long. Other guys were having a hard time getting lap dances because all the girls wanted to hang out with us. How did this happen, Mom? It's like simple. You created a safe space for a bunch of mentally abused girls. I might remove that one. That one didn't hit that well. As he ages, I'm realizing ways that I seriously did fail him, though. And as a parent, it's important to acknowledge your failures. Like, my son called me crying from jail. And I was like, what the fuck did you do? He said, I got a DUI in the daytime, and I didn't know you could get those. So I paused, because I wasn't sure if I just heard that correctly. So I repeated it back to clarify. You learn that in therapy, repeat things back. Alex, did you just tell me you didn't know you could get a DUI during the daytime? Well, I thought you could only get them at night. You know, that's when everybody drinks and drives. I was like, I fucking failed you, and I don't really know what to tell you at this point other than that's not an excuse in a court of law. Now I'm really wondering how many other things I failed him in that I haven't discovered yet because I didn't realize I had to point it out. I was actually in the Navy as well. It was before I had my child. I actually had to give a height waiver because apparently in the military, you have to be 5'2", and I am only 4'10" and 3/4 inches. And that 3/4 is very fucking important. Because at the DMV, it gives them the right to raise you up or lower you down for your height. And if you get the right person, you can be 4'11" like me. But one of the drawbacks is some guys seem to look at you and think, oh my gosh, she is so adorable. Look at her, she's so child-sized. So if you're looking up here thinking that, you don't need my number, you need a therapist. I didn't really mind the military. I actually enjoyed my time serving. My favorite part was boot camp showers. I mean, think about it. I'm 4'10". I'm boob height. That's 86 girls in the shower all at the same time. That's 172 titties, just in case you're trying to do the math. I can't look up. That's waterboarding. I can't look down. That's reverse waterboarding with shampoo. That's 8 weeks of boot camp. Actually, no, my favorite were acronyms. Like CYA, cover your ass. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And my favorite, it's a non-binary term, but a lot of women seem to get very upset with me at this point. Cunt. Can't understand normal thinking. See, when I tell this joke, I like to look at the men's faces in the audience.
Apparently they know that.
I mean, I don't pay attention to women's because most of them, they glare at me with this, yeah, fuck you, bitch. But the men either look scared or they openly laugh. It's one of the two, you know, either they're, am I gonna get fucked if I laugh, staring at their wife out of the corner of their eye like, is she laughing? She's not laughing, I'm not gonna laugh. But if she laughs, then he'll fucking let roar and have a really good time. The other thing that I wish we could work on, the only acronym I don't like, pull out and quick withdraw. There's gotta be a different phrase we can come up with where it sounds like everybody left that situation feeling like, I got mine. I am really proud of women in the military, how far we've come, everything that we can do on the ships now. I say ships because I was in the Navy. But the one place I don't think women belong is on submarines. I don't think there's any way you can have men and women both go out to sea underwater for 6 months without some bitch getting knocked up. And there's no way you can have all women go out to sea under the water for 6 months. The only ones coming back are going to be the ones in menopause. Everybody else is just going to kill each other while we sit back and laugh and go, "Aw, remember when we cared so much about so little? Should we stop the fight? Nah, fuck it." Because once you reach menopause, it's a whole different level of things to be annoyed and irritated about than men. I mean, when you wake up in the middle of the night and literally scoop up a handful of titty sweat and then fling it across the room and hit your boyfriend with it as he's walking in, that really puts things in perspective. That actually happened, by the way. I didn't know he was out of the room, and it was really hot, and the windows were open, and it's winter, and negative 20 degrees outside, and I am drenched like I just did aerobics, scooped up like titty sweat, flung it across the room, and hit him with it, and all I heard was, "Ew." What was that? Oh yeah, it was up here. Nah, I didn't do this. I went like that. The other one, he probably would have recognized the scent a little bit better. Also, being in the military, I realized that I think men are a lot like naval vessels, other than the fact that they're full of semen. Whenever you think about it, when guys are larger and you're in the bedroom, the ocean, they don't seem to do all that much work. They're large, they're big, we're stable, we can part through the sea just fine and do the job that needs to be done. We get where we go. And then you've got like a frigate. Not a tiny, tiny ship, but it's a smaller ship. And it hits that ocean and it's gotta work that fucking ocean. It has got to be all over the place. There is no steady cut through with the frigate. You're bouncing here, you're bouncing a little over there, you go back down this way a little bit. You are working that fucking ocean. So women, I mean, just give a frigate a chance. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Need that chance.
We all think.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it. Don't forget to tip your waitresses. Take care of your staff. They keep you drunk and